one of the things that I was
Mhm.
concerned about when I started my business is, what do I need to start? And for me, because I've worked in digital marketing for 10 years, I was like, okay, I need Instagram, I need Facebook, I need Twitter, I need YouTube, I need a really nice website, I need an email list, and that's an email list provider. And then, I need a payment provider. And before you know it,
Mhm.
I have so many subscriptions to all of these things. And I actually sat down and calculated, and I'm like, I'm paying $250 a month in $20 and $30 subscriptions for, all these like scheduling platforms and emails and all these different things. Do you really need all of that to get started? Because it is very overwhelming and it feels like a lot.
So this is what I recommend for people who are starting a business and they have a full-time job and they're trying to do it part-time, is pick one social media platform, just one. You don't have to be on all of them. You can do like minimal on the rest of them, but just pick the one that reflects two things. So one, where is your ideal customer most likely to be, right? And that's going to depend on what you're selling. So if you're selling, say you're a photographer, chances are you're going to want to showcase yourself on Instagram because it's very visual, right? If you're a community builder, you might want to find people on Facebook and start a Facebook group. If you are somebody who's comfortable on video or you're demoing something, right? If you are selling something that aligns with a step-by-step or something that you can show on video or bring people through, then use YouTube. And just pick one platform and get really, really good at it, right? Like, don't try and do all the things because you're going to overwhelm yourself, and you don't need to. So long as you're finding the people and the people are finding you on that platform, that's good enough for the time being. When you get really good on one platform and you've got it all kind of automated and it's very clear what you're doing and you know what you're doing, then you can start branching out. But just do one thing at a time, because otherwise it's going to be overwhelming. And something you can do is you can always like repurpose your content for other platforms. So even though say you're focusing just on Facebook or just on Instagram, if you're just doing Instagram, you can always, there's that thing where you can post it on Facebook from Instagram. So you can always just do like a repost. Or if you're just on LinkedIn, for example, you can retweet. You can tweet your LinkedIn posts. So do minimal and focus on just one thing. It's going to make it super easy, and it's going to teach you the things that you need to do to start gathering a following. Because what's most important is consistency, right? It's not that you're everywhere, it's that you're consistent in one place, that people will start to see you and show up and get to know you.
Yeah. You said to pick the platform where your ideal customer is most likely to be. What if you don't know who your ideal customer is? How do you figure that out?
Okay, so you figure it out really by taking action and working with people, depending who you are, right? But you kind of figure it out by putting your thing out there and seeing who responds. And then you also figure it out by thinking, who in my mind, if anybody could, and I'll talk about, for example, for something like coaching, for example, because that's kind of the world I know. I think it's a little different if you're selling earrings, right? On Etsy, it's a slightly different thing. But there is still this idea of like, who is your ideal target market? Who are you talking to? So you think about, if anybody in the world, if I could help anybody in the world, what would they look like? Not physically look like, but like, how old would they be? What are they feeling inside? What change do they desperately need? What is their day like? What keeps them up at night? Right? So you ask all these questions like, where are they feeling lost? Where do they really need the transformation? If it's coaching, for example, where do they hang out? And often if you're doing a service-based thing like coaching, consulting, healing, that sort of thing, your ideal customer is really who you were a couple steps back before you figured out the thing that changed your life.